Boom! Welcome everyone, Maté talk time. Excited to be before you all. It's very cool. Let me begin with a little bit of a drink of my maté. I've been prepping for today. I am covered in perfumes. Wait till you hear the ones that I have. You've seen the thumbnail, but there are others that I'm going to share with you. Excuse me. So we did a live. A few weeks back now, and I had two members who jumped on and shared new finds, things that they're discovering. One of them is a gentleman by the name of Max, local man, always loves to hunt, turns over every rock there is in the world when it comes to new perfumes. And he talked about this particular brand here called KARAKASH. I mentioned on the live that I really loved the display box. It's a brand from Istanbul, and I just commented on how cool the whole thing looks. Max on the actual live talked about one called Havana Paradise, which was chocolate and tobacco and sort of, just very sexy amber-y. The beautiful people of KARAKASH reached out to me and they said, would you be okay if I sent you a sample box? I said yes. And so I received it. Max put an order in. He actually bought himself a full bottle of the Havana Paradise, which, let me just say, it is a glorious fragrance. It's absolutely spectacular. And so I've been testing the KARAKASH. One that I want to talk about, so I have been testing, this is my testing segment, this is one called Amber Fusion. And let me just say, overall, the house is exceptional. Really beautiful fragrances, beautiful collection. Going back, Havana Paradise is one that you should check out if you get a chance to check it out. I was drawn to the name of this one here. When it opened up, it gave me a very welcoming, familiar designer vibe. Now, I know that as niche people, the moment we say it has designer vibes, we think, oh, it's not that, we sort of turn our nose up. This fragrance here, beautiful evolution. So it does have a very welcoming, the citruses, or there's other components in there that are just, brought me in. There was some, what to my nose seemed to be fruit notes, yet I don't believe that there's any fruit notes in the opening of the fragrance. As it begins to emerge, it does go into this, so it does have this wonderful evolution. It does go into this more ambery, but still there's a lightness in the fragrance. There's no vanilla, so I find that sometimes amber fragrances amplify a little bit those vanillas. And in this case here, that vanilla sort of sweetness has really been toned down. There is more wood-like components near the end. There is an incense quality to it. I am wearing it here, but it is gone, meaning that everything else and I'll show you what I've got on, I'll tell you about it shortly, it is overpowering, and this poor baby cannot fight against the other beasts that I have on me. I'm sorry, I cannot smell it. I've got one right here, I'll tell you what that is shortly, but, and that's all I'm smelling. Even up here, all I'm smelling is this guy. But again, I was testing this the last couple of days, beautiful fragrance. So Amber Fusion, KARAKASH is the brand. It's a new brand from Istanbul. If you get a chance to check them out, I don't know if, look, if they can deliver to Australia, I'm gonna say that they can take it out to the world too. All right, let me move on. So announcement, oh, here it is. Where's my flippity? Announcement. So those who may have seen the, for those people who may have seen the new XERJOFF video that's come out, it's going fantastic. And again, XERJOFF, bada bing, and away she goes. So that video is actually popping, doing really well. In that video, I announced that we are doing a promo. The beautiful people of Libertine were kind enough to donate a 100ml bottle of Herba Gold. For those who haven't had a chance to test it out, this is exceptional. Unfortunately, this is only for Aussies. So Aussies take full advantage of this offer, which is basically jump on the Libertine website, use the code NFC XERJOFF, and you'll have a chance to win that 100ml bottle of perfume. Now, the promo closes on the 24th, so you basically have about a week and a half left, and I will announce it on Maté Talk. Now, this is a great opportunity to win yourself a free bottle. So actually, because I've got a timer on, take advantage of this, Aussies. it's something that you'll enjoy. Boom, boom, let me move on. On the 24th and 25th of March, I'm doing the next NFC Live. I'm putting a call out to 2 members. So if you're a member of the channel and you'd like to be spotlighted similar to what Max and also another gentleman called Mike from the US, then reach out to me, send me a DM, and I'll make sure to, yeah, I'd love to have you on there. The purpose is anything that you're finding that you love, anything that is new that you'd like to share. But anyway, DM me and we can talk a little bit more. These are the dates and time across the world. So look forward to seeing you guys there. And now, boom, you may have seen this. I actually, this came out just prior to this particular episode here. If you haven't seen this video yet, check it out. This is now the full in-depth detail to the France Fragrance Tour, which is happening in September. For those people who may not know what this is about, watch this video. That'll give you a complete breakdown of this, this tour that Kevin and I are doing. It's about perfume love. It really is a luxury tour, and it's a chance to, well, to have a really good time in France. That's I mean, that's how I sold it to my financier. We're gonna have a really good time in France. So yeah, so check this out, check this video out. Now, if you'd like to know more, we have now the full itinerary. Send me an email. Here's my email address. Send me an email and I will email that across to you. You'll see the full detail, day by day, hotels we're staying at, activities that we're doing on a daily basis. So yeah, send me the email and I will contact you. Boom! How's that? Announcements done in record time. I even beat my 3. I've got an egg timer. This is what I turn over. So I beat my time. All right. So what I want to do right now, and I don't know why I haven't explored this function earlier, and that is the polls in the community tab on the page on the YouTube channel. This is awesome. I'm like, my jaw dropped. I'm like, why is it that I never took advantage of this? So going forward, watch this page. I'm going to do a lot more activity when it comes to this community tab. I'll be putting a lot more things. Now, I've done some lineup videos in the past. I did the vanilla one, I did the amber one, I've done a leather one, and they were a great success. A lot of people have shared interest to say, can I do more of these? Short answer is yes. And then I thought, so I started to write down, okay, I'd like to do one on Jasmine, I'd like to do one on Rose, yada yada. And then I thought, which one should I do first? And that's when I came across this page. So if you haven't seen this yet, jump on the tab. You vote. So just so you know, not the best one's gonna win. Every one of these I will do, but based on how you, you know, like how they sort of, which one wins, that's how they'll come out, all right? So far I think Oud is actually winning when it comes to the next lineup. That lineup will come out on the 7th of April. So 7th of April, the new lineup video will be created. So you tell me which one you'd like me to do first. And today what I'm gonna do is, these are fragrances that I've already isolated for these particular lineups, okay? So these are fragrances that I'd like to talk about, but I'll add some others. I've already sort of written down fragrances or perfumes that I'd like to put within those fragrance notes. But let me just have a small drink because my brain's going, are you saying everything? Yes, I'm saying everything. Gives me a chance to, not cheat, but it gives me a chance to look at my notes and calm my brain down and just to say, yes, I'm covering everything that I need to cover. All right, let me begin. And as I said, I am covered in perfume. Some of these perfumes are fighting each other for dominance when it comes to my awareness of them. Grace, my very talented editor, also pointed out that there are some that actually are popping a lot more on me, so I'll tell you more about that shortly. Let me begin with this one. So I've been loving the Jasmine note in perfumery for a very long time. There is a misconception that Jasmine, because it's a floral, it's more of a female-leaning note. I just push that out of your brains. If there's any boys that may think that way, Jasmine is an incredible white floral that really accentuates sunshine. I think a beautiful jasmine fragrance, yes, is a beautiful, that fragrance note is beautiful on a woman, but on a man it works so well. Where it works really, really well, so boys who want to maybe explore that jasmine note, is this one here by AMOUAGE. It's called ASHORE. Now, for those who are familiar with AMOUAGE and how they do things, I'm going to show you this one so you can see what the comparison. So if you're new to the house of AMOUAGE, traditionally what they would do is that this more squarish looking one or rectangle looking one is the male. That used to be the man, and the more sort of square looking bottle was the woman. And this is how they sort of came in. Now, with the introduction of, or the new creative director being Renaud Salmon, and actually on that, have a look at this. This Sunday, this video is coming out, and this is what Grace is currently working on. Let me just say, so for those who saw the video that we created on Florence, and again, Grace was behind the wheel in creating the magic on that. Wait till you see this one. Wait till you see this new video that's about to pop on Sunday. I had an opportunity to catch up with Renaud Salmon when I was in Cannes. Anyway, that video is coming out, and sorry, I got distracted because I'm super excited about that video. That should be a lot of fun. Anyway, back to this. So when you look at the square bottle, you think it's designed for a woman. With Renaud Salmon coming on board, this was the first creation, or the first collection that he created, which is part of the Renaissance collection, ASHORE, and he removed the man-woman notations to the different bottles, essentially. This is for whoever whoever wants to enjoy it. This is a really beautiful celebration of this jasmine sambac, and it has a very, to the point that it almost feels, when I showed Grace, I said, what are you smelling? And she said that she detected a citrus note. There's no citrus notes listed in the actual fragrance. There is a thing called a solar accord. And I'm gonna say that that solar accord mixed in with that jasmine sambac gives it sunshine, gives it the impression of that citrus, that vibrance, that sort of that joy that comes from a beautiful citrus fragrance, which I think I would interpret it as sunshine. So there is a solar accord, and that jasmine in here. Now this is a jasmine like you haven't experienced, meaning that it's a lot more, not necessarily animalic, but there is more animalic tones. It has a deeper sense to it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, olibanum yes, olibanum. So it has olibanum and also ambergris. They're the two sort of different notes that are in there. The ambergris gives it a musky edge, almost not necessarily sea salt, but being the fact that it's called ASHORE, gives you the impression that there is a sense of marine, shore-like, aquatic component to it. Boys, if you haven't had a chance to check out ASHORE, I'd strongly recommend it to you. Believe it or not, I bought this for Sandra, my wife. She didn't enjoy it. She likes more her solar, her more vibrant jasmines. She found this one, in her words, a bit more dirty. So it does have a lot more, sort of an animalic component to it. And I think it's that ambergris, probably olibanum, the little bit of incense that creates quite a bit of magic on this. Big, massive recommendation, guys. If you want to try a jasmine that's a little bit different, ASHORE is that one there. And here it is here. If you like jasmine, it's definitely in there. If you're not familiar with jasmine, then this is a great place to begin. Let me move on, because otherwise I'm going to be stuck forever. All right, next one, Aussie House. Another fragrance note that I want to do a lineup on is rose. I bang on about how much I love rose and rose this, and boys, if you're not familiar, if you're not comfortable with florals, start with this rose fragrance, start with that rose fragrance. Well, start with this rose fragrance. This is called Under the Rose. It's by a house called FLANER. They're an Aussie-based company. They're brand new, and when I say brand new, they're probably about a year and a half old. They've opened up a store in Fitzroy for local Melburnians. You need to check out the store. It's, I'll put it here. Here's the address. They're really exceptional. Actually, they're launching I don't know, I better not steal any thunder. Anyway, they're doing I'm not going to say any more. Maybe there's got more fragrances in the wings, but anyway, so I have a good relationship with the crew from FLANER, and anyway, I'm not going to say any more other than check out the store because you can test out Under the Rose. Sometimes rose fragrances, and let's take Radical Rose as a good example, where it is, it's a rose that a man can wear, but it's a rose fragrance. So there's no mistaking that you're now wearing a rose perfume. Works amazing on a man, glorious on a woman. So if you're a little bit uncomfortable with rose and you want to sort of venture into this space, then Under the Rose is the perfect place to begin. It almost feels like it's not a rose fragrance, but it is so distinct rose fragrance. And this is the contradiction, because it feels like it isn't, but it 100% is. Right now, believe it or not, I'm fighting against, and I just showed you the bottle, Interlude Black Iris. For those who understand that fragrance, that is a beast of a monster of fragrance. Under the Rose is fighting against it right now. I can detect that rose component. What I love about this fragrance is it has this beautiful sort of, my brain, evulsion. I was going to say evulsion. That's a word that we use in our family, but it evolves. It evolves between so many different facets. One of the facets is it is a rose. The other facet is that it does have animalic components to it. So you are getting like a leathery animalic tone to it. And then there's the jamminess of it. And that jamminess is supported by a raspberry note. So you find that all this seems to move itself around. When it opens, it does not open like a rose fragrance, to the point where you're getting more, for me at least, I'm getting more of the animalic components of it. But then this rose just sort of, and I think the name Under the Rose is probably a great definition. It really is. It's almost like you're either underneath the rose and you're like, I don't see it, or the rose is hidden, but yet the rose is there at the same time. You know, it's a bit hard to explain. Test it. Everyone I've shown this fragrance to, they all enjoy it. Under the Rose. However, if you really love that celebration of rose, this doesn't, well, not that it doesn't celebrate it, but it doesn't, unlike a Radical Rose where it's front and center, this one here, it's a lot more sort of removed. It's present, but there are other things that are happening. For those who are not comfortable with florals and rose, then this is the place you need to begin. Boom. All right. Next one is, so this was a fragrance note that I struggled with, which was Tuberose. And the reason why I struggled with that as a floral note is my wife is a tuberose lover. She just, like anything with tuberose in, she's all in. She has the Nichane tuberosa, which is incredible. She has Narcotic Venus, which is the most glorious celebration of this animalic tuberose. So when I smell tuberose, I always think of Sandra. So when I came across DECAS at the very beginning, I was like, I don't know if I can do this, because that tuberose note is very pronounced. So this was my gateway entry into all things tuberose. Now I'm like, yeah, bring me tuberose, baby. I mean, I still can't wear tuberosa or Narcotic V. I mean, that's definitely my Sandra's fragrance. But I definitely can appreciate and enjoy more that tuberose note. Here, it's tempered beautifully, opens up with this, this very citrus mandarin note, very sweet, very candy-like, blended in with that tuberose. And then it goes into, when it dries down, it goes into, I think it's musks. I know that there is olibanum, or there is an incense note at the base, but I didn't write. I just said it has an incense touch, and 100%. So the citrus comes down, the tuberose really sort of eases off. So at the start, it is very floral, very tuberose. It eases off, and it does more of a, it gives that, I guess it gives it more of a masculine edge. And for me, I like the thought that there's a bit more, that the height and the indolic component of tuberose has come down. But on a man, amazing. On a woman, actually Sandra doesn't wear this because I think it's become more my fragrance. For me, this fragrance is summertime. For me, this fragrance is wintertime. For me, this fragrance is going out on special occasions, is coming to the office. This has become a fragrance where it instantly just makes me happy. I love wearing it. A fragrance that you can wear all year round. And I'm gonna slow down. All right, how's that so far? I'm trying to beat my clock. Good luck. Let me point this out. That this is part of the 1861 collection. It gets lost. It gets lost in amongst that collection there. It doesn't get celebrated enough. Have a look at the video that I created on this particular fragrance. It does celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the 1861 collection. I actually think that this should sit side by side with Naxos. Naxos still gets a lot of love and a lot of attention, but check out DECAS. It's very, very impressive. And for those who want to, I guess, introduce a Tuberose into their collection, that's a great place to begin. Boom. All right. Oof. Okay, here we go. Now this one here is fighting like crazy. It wants to dominate. This wants to rule them all, basically. Crystal Saffron. This is a monster. So I've been loving the saffron note for quite some time. I really, really enjoy the suede components of saffron. I really enjoy the slight spiciness that saffron brings into a fragrance. I love the ambre component, the way that it just, in a lot of cases, saffron is sort of paired within ambre warm fragrances. Well, this baby here breaks all that. Breaks them, grabs like a Greek plate and just smashes it and says, we're done here. The saffron is from Greece. Aurélien Guichard, the perfumer, mentioned that he loved the herbal and sunshine facet that the saffron from Greece actually produced. And so he then created a fragrance that essentially celebrates all the uniqueness of that saffron note. This is not suede-like. This is not ambre. This is more herbal. This is a lot more sparkling. It's almost sharp at times. When you first start to spray, it has a sharpness to it. There's almost even like an earth-like quality to the fragrance. The traditional suede sort of feeling that you get from a saffron has been removed. It is more leather-like now. It's not a leather fragrance, so don't misunderstand. This is not a leather fragrance, unlike take Falcon Leather, also by Maté Premier, which is just so robust and in your face. It's like getting slapped with a leather glove. This one here, there is leather-like components, but it's the herbal, it's that saffron that's definitely coming through. There is musk and there's also incense in the fragrance. You can detect some incense qualities to it. Don't overspray. So I recently lent this to Kevin, and he said that I think he put like 3 or 4 sprays on. It blew his brain. So for me, this is a 2-spray fragrance, more than enough. I sprayed once. Actually, let me go one more. So this morning, I was getting myself ready. I sprayed this morning just to sort of refamiliarize myself with the fragrances. I went home, I showered. I came back, I could still smell. All the others had come off me, except this one here, and I'll tell you what that one is. But Crystal Saffron was still there. It's like, what do you need from me? I got your back, and that was 1 spray. So the Crystal Saffron, very prevalent, very present, very strong. So if you like the saffron note, this is a really a unique take on saffron overall. Big, massive recommendation. Awesome fragrance. Itchy nose, excuse me. Okay, last 2. So this one here. Remember I said I was trying to smell what I had here with the KARAKASH. This was dominating. So this is called Dunas de un Cuerpo. And Dunas is dunes. De un Cuerpo is of a body. So it's basically the dunes of a body. And think of, sometimes you see these sort of imagery of like a drone or a plane flying over dunes, and you see the contour of these dunes and everything else. I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the movie The English Patient, I think there is a scene where you're seeing the dune, but then it transitions into the shape of a female body, and I think it's the lover of Ralph Fiennes. If I'm not mistaken, maybe I made that up, but I think I'm right. Actually, I'll put it here if I think that's pretty right. So this is the same concept, and that is just like Dunes, where it has all this contouring in different shapes and different the sort of the way the light hits the different sand hills and all the rest of it. This fragrance is about that too. This is about the different crevices in our human body that contains scent. I can't remember the exact words of Alessandro Galtieri, and I'll put it here. But the essence of it is that it's in the dark places of our body is where the soul exists, or that's where I guess the core of the human person is. I remember when I first read this years ago, I'm like, that is 100% true. That is 100% true. I love, as I've mentioned before, I love smelling crevices on my family. I love the neckline, the sort of the where the elbow is. There's a mixture of, I guess, the perfume that they've been wearing, but also them. And Dunas de un Cuerpo celebrates all of that. This is an oud fragrance. If you're new to oud, I'd recommend you start here. Again, in preparation, as I was getting ready, I was asking Grace, what can you smell? She smelled this, she's like, that's an oud fragrance, it's pretty punchy. So yes, it is, I guess, as an oud fragrance, it does have presence. And maybe I've just become really used to oud. I've really fallen in love with that beautiful oud note. For me, it's not, this one here is not on the deep animalic. If anything, this has so many different facets and touches to it. One of the touches is that when the fragrance first opens, it has this dark chocolate sort of warmth to it. As it does migrate, it does go up to me, to my nose, it does go into this like coffee place. It does have a cedar-like quality to it, but the oud remains all the way through the fragrance. There is, I've mentioned before, the way that FUEGUIA likes to represent themselves is through this planetary system. The core is amber, but I'm going to challenge that and say that the core, in fact, is oud. So it could be an oud amber, because that oud note is very distinct. Then the other planetary, or the other notes that are revolving around it are olibanum and sandalwood. And it does have a very beautiful, but very deep resinous sandalwood smell to it, to the point where you just almost feel like you've just sanded it. You know, that beautiful texture of wood, but very deep, very resinous. I keep going on. I love this brand. I love this brand. I love this brand. I think FUEGUIA do exceptional fragrances, and this one here, if you'd like oud, I'd strongly recommend it. Dunas de un Cuerpo, and for the oud segment that I plan to do, that will definitely be a part of it. Last fragrance, Bada Bing. Not a lot I need to say about this other than probably the most incredible fragrance when it comes to, if you like incense in your fragrance, then either Interlude or Interlude Black Iris. For me, these are minimums. So I know that these are harder fragrances to first get into. So if you're brand new, please do not start here. But if you're now, look, a veteran, if you're a veteran, then this is definitely somewhere you need to be. I have Interlude. I enjoy both, don't get me wrong, but I really enjoy Black Iris. What I like about Black Iris is that it has that rosemary herbal opening. That rosemary herbal opening, rosemary herbal greenness never leaves the fragrance. Give me one second. The incense of frankincense, the woods in the base, the greenness of the fragrance. This fragrance is so intensely divine. It's so powerful. It's regal. It's sophisticated. It is strong. It's powerful. There is so many things about the beauty and joy of this fragrance that is just, it's hard to describe. Other than it's a glorious fragrance, massive recommendation. And the black, so that iris, the orris butter is definitely very prevalent to me in that opening. So in that opening, that the greenness of the orris is definitely there. As I said, for me, it does stay within the fragrance all the way through. Boom, there it is. So they're the 6 different lineups that I'm going to do. So these are the 6 fragrance notes that I want to celebrate. I will be doing a lineup. I like doing 7. 7 is I don't know, maybe, is that the lucky number? I'm not sure. Oh, 8 is the lucky number. So yeah, 7 or 8 I normally like doing as a lineup. These that I've just shared will definitely be part of that lineup. You tell me via the polling system which one I should do first. The first video, I was trying to get it under 28 minutes, so close. So 7th of April is when that first lineup video will come out. These are the fragrance notes. Don't forget to put in your vote as to which one it should be first. I'm gonna do all of them, so no one's gonna miss out. None of those fragrance notes will miss out. It's just which one will come out first is the key. Thanks everyone. Look forward to your comments. We'll see you guys all on the next Maté Talk.